I want to keep the good vibes going, but I got to ask this. He's a playoff hero. He's going to be a part of some of the top 10, top 5 moments in this series. We were railing against him last week, and we were talking about there's no shot that they bring him back and they potentially trade Rhys Hoskins. Are the Phillies, say they win the World Series, say they don't win the World Series, you can take both concepts here. Are they still bringing him back next year?
Rhys Hoskins is absolutely just a fascinating player to talk about.
I want to love him.
There's this section of the fan base that even when he's at his absolute worst, they will blindly defend him. And then there's this part of the fan base that just will not give him any credit whatsoever. First thing you have to know is, right, like he is under contract next year, but they have to make a decision. If they're not going to retain him beyond next year, do you let him just play out that last year of control and then part ways? Or do you try to trade him? He presumably has some serious value after what he's done this postseason. Would you trade him if it made sense and you could better your team? If you're the Phillies and you want to go out and invest in another infielder, like let's say, Trey Turner, right? That's a name that you're going to hear a lot about this winter. So then what? Like Alec Boehm is probably here now, right? So is Alec Boehm a first baseman? And then do you reconfigure the rest of your infield and add a guy like Turner? Like that's a consideration. There's so many different things that go into it. Mm-hmm. I was kind of the belief that had they not made the postseason, or let's say that they just got bounced in 2 games by the Cardinals, that they would look at the composition of their team and say, certain things aren't working here. It's not like it's Rhys Hoskins' fault, but like maybe we just need to do something different. But one of the things I said this on a radio hit. I was on with Gilio one night, and we were saying, if they make a deep run and he's in the middle of everything, could that change the way that the team sort of like computes the future? And now here we are. This is more or less what's happened. Rhys Hoskins has shown you all the reasons to kind of not believe in him, but he has shown you so many reasons to believe in him. What he did this weekend, for sure, not only did he put this team in the World Series, but like he's a Wall of Fame player now, right? Like, he's a Wall of Fame player. I mean, he's up on the wall. There's no doubt. I mean, there's no doubt.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess. I mean,
he might have been with a bad series against the Padres, even after that bat spike. Like I thought the bat spike probably did it.
Wow.
But now, I mean, dude, you're talking about just 3 monster home runs over the 2 concluding games of a National League Championship Series. Yeah. No offense to some of the other guys on that wall. There's one that comes to mind, but I like him. But I mean, Rhys Hoskins is ahead of that.
I know who you were gonna say, but this year they inducted like Bake McBride, right?
Like, and those guys were playoff heroes.
They were,
but people are going to have the same thought about Rhys Hoskins 20, 30 years from now that they have about Big.
God, your response to this, I was in the shower today and I was thinking about like, what can I do this?
Let me get the visual.
What can I do this week? Right. And I thought to myself, like, Rhys Hoskins is a Wall of Fame player. I'm like, is that even worth doing? Like, is that controversial? But
I think it's controversial.
Your response, I guess, kind of gives it some validation.
It's his first playoff appearance in his career. He's been here for 8 years now?
Yeah, but I mean, you look at, he comes here in 2017, I want to say the end of.
Is he top 10 in anything except for strikeouts in the playoffs here?
But I mean, like, just the moments and like the overall production, like where he ranks, he's a good dude. I don't know. I just think Rhys meets the Lieberthal. Thank you.
That's a former guest, Bob.
I know.
Who DM'd me saying, I hope I see you. I'm coming to games 2 and 3.
I mean, seems like a great guy. But I mean,
it's not the baseball Hall of Fame. You know, it's the Phillies Wall of Fame. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a bunch of dudes who were questioned. Even put Lieberthal, take Lieberthal and put him off to the side. There's a bunch of dudes on there.
Yeah. Manny Trio, was he like he was a playoff hero? He's on the wall.
Oh, my dad will tell you that Manny Trio is like a slam dunk, no doubt about it. Like he grew like 80. I think he was like 30 years old, and he just was like, oh, Manny Trio is one of the best. You know, so